Good afternoon. My name is William Molina, and we're here for the Job Help Hotline. I'm here to represent today one of our organizations called Greater Westtown Training Partnership. Um, Today we have a guest, Mr. Charlie Negron, who's with us from the Woodworkers Training Program.
Thanks, William, for having me on.
It's good to have you here today. And they say the economy is getting better, and there's a lot of opportunity out there for jobs, but one of the things that's very important is having experience and skills that you can utilize in order to get a job. There's still a lot of competition out there when it comes to jobs, right?
Yeah, especially right now.
Yes, a lot of people are competing for those jobs, especially in the fields of construction, cabinet making, furniture, woodworking, and there's a lot of things, a lot of action taking place, and the economy seems to be doing a whole lot better. So one of the things that we encourage is always to have something under your belt that you can use so you can go out there and compete for those jobs. Charlie is from the Woodworkers Training Program, so you're one of the technical instructors.
Yeah,
right?
I'm one of the instructors in the training program.
Okay, and let me begin by asking you, Charlie, why should a person consider getting into a program like the Woodworkers Training Program?
Well, one of the things that's happened in the last, I would say the last decade in Chicago is a lot of the manufacturing has gone out of like high schools, like wood shops, things of that nature. And there's a lot of companies out there looking for people with that type of skill level. So the students who used to kind of go into the wood shop and make things and kind of get used to that equipment, right now it's absent right now in that type of field. So when employers are looking for people with those skills, it's really hard to find. That's where we come into play. So our training program basically consists of it's old time woodworking shop with a lot of new equipment. Matter of fact, a lot of advanced equipment at the moment. And what we do is take the place of what that vocational training in high schools used to do years ago. So the students are coming to our training program. Basically, what they're learning is how to set up machines, how to run the machines, how to work with a CNC equipment that utilizes panel processing
If I
techniques.
can cut in for 1 second. Now, that's a good point that you bring up there. You know, back in the day, I remember they used to have the wood shops, yeah,
Right.
and people learned the foundation and how to use tools and so on. And that's non-existent in schools
That's
nowadays.
non-existent in a lot of the high schools right now.
So-
they still might have auto shop, but
Right.
a lot of that vocational training where they're getting their hands on and kind of working on those machines, basically you don't see that anymore in Chicago.
So the woodworking that basically was taught in the high schools was basically like, I remember making a bookshelf one time and using very small saws and so on and some band saws and so on. But so in comparison, I know that in the furniture making industry, for example, the type of machinery they use, I mean, how would the shop that you work in be in comparison to the shops that are out there in the industry?
It's comparable. I could take my shop and match it with any woodworking shop out there, and basically we have the same equipment. The same types of equipment that'll do the same things. Yeah, and getting back to your point, we have that skill level of students coming through our training program that's, basically meeting that need right now for these manufacturers. I have two companies that are competing for the students that we have right
That's a good
now,
thing.
going out on job interviews. And I know you're going to talk about that a little bit in
Yeah.
a little while.
So basically, what we're saying here to you that are listening out there, this is a free training, right? It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
It
So a
won't cost
person
the
comes in
students anything.
and you're coming in here and you're getting the skills that you need and the foundation that you need in order to get a job in woodworking. Because I take it that somebody just can't walk off the streets and say, "Oh, I want to work at a wood furniture making company," right?
Right.
You got to have some type of
You
experience.
gotta, yeah, and that's what usually the first story I'll tell new students is that if you knock on the door of any company and go for an interview, most likely a person who's young wants to do any type of work. They'll go to a company, knock on the door, and the owner of the company says, "Okay, what can you do?" And they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
and what we'll do is give them a good foundation. So instead of going to a company and knocking on the door and telling them that you don't have no skills but you want to work, now they have the benefit of actually going to a training program, knocking on the door, and they could go ahead and list with that employer, I have this type of skill, this type of skill, this type of skill.
Exactly. And you that are watching today, our viewers that are joining us, you know, you got to have some type of skill, some type of ability, especially in a market that's competitive. You got a lot of people out there that have skills. If you don't have what it takes to get that job and to compete for that job, then it becomes a little more difficult. So trainings like this are just excellent. So, uh, tell us a little bit about what happens in shop. Do the students build anything? Do they make furniture? What do they do in the school?
So let me just kind of rewind. Well, so the thought process of our instructors through the training program is that we'll take the students and we want to mold them. So basically, what we kind of set up the shop is when a student comes in, we think that they have no skills whatsoever. So we start laying a foundation. So one of the first things we'll do is start working with tape measures and measured equipment or measuring tools to go ahead and start thinking about how we're going to go ahead and start measuring parts. Then we'll start utilizing maybe blueprint reading, where they're looking at these drawings and taking that drawing and breaking it down to make the different components that maybe for a table, right? So, you know, you have the tabletop that's so long and so wide,
Exactly.
right? And then you have the legs that come with that, and you have the parts that go around the legs. So we're looking at all those different pieces, and we start measuring those pieces. We'll have the students kind of measure them with tape measures and rulers and stuff like that. And they're thinking about this thought process of, okay, how I'm going to build this, but I need to figure out all the different pieces that
Sounds intense.
that start. And that's how it works. And usually, at about 4 weeks, the students finish their first project. It's a small little stool table, but it gives them a good foundation on how to go ahead and process lumber, how to use those basic hand tools, some industrial machines, and some laminating that we do with cabinet construction, blueprint reading. All those things, you know, encompass that first project, and it gives them a good confidence. It's a good confidence builder. It builds up their esteem to, you know, kind of launch them to that next project that we'll do after that.
So after that, it intensifies, right? I take it intensifies
Right.
as you learn. That's like your basic. You learn.
Basic instruction. So as we are working on this first project, we're introducing the miter saws, table saws, pneumatic staplers, some power tools, band saws. You know, the different equipment that entails all of that. We're teaching them safety. We're teaching them what to do on those, you know, those pieces of equipment, because
Right.
you know, if you look at those shops, you know, you're looking at equipment that basically does one thing: cut. They don't care what they cut.
Right.
So we have to teach the students that this is the right technique. We're doing it this way. But the amazing thing is looking at the pride of the students when they're finished with their first project. Wow. And then, you know, with those projects, they get to take them home. So it's, you know, it's another confidence builder, because they can show their families, hey, this is what's possible with skills that I never had, but after 4 weeks, this is what I could do.
So you said after 4 weeks. So the length of the program is how long?
15 weeks long.
It's 15 weeks long. And what are the hours?
We run from 8 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Fridays.
Okay, so if you're watching out there and some of you already might be interested in getting that number to call, we're gonna flash that number on your screen right now, and that is the Greater Westtown Training Partnership. It's the Wood Products Manufacturing Training Program. They're located at 500 North Sacramento Boulevard. The phone number is 312-563-9570. And our Facebook is on here, and also our website. So if you want to look into our website and get more information, we welcome you, and you'll get quite a bit more information, and you'll also get to see a lot of pictures and videos showing what it is that this program entails. My next question would be, what would something like this cost? It sounds like it's a very expensive program, I mean, to do all this type of work.
Yeah, so you got 15 weeks. You know, you got these projects that are working on. You have a couple of instructors with about 60 years of total manufacturing experience that they're kind of lending these students and giving to these students. But the training is free for them.
Wow.
So they don't
Free
have to
program.
worry about out of pocket costs whatsoever. They don't have to bring in any tools. They don't have to worry about bringing any books. It's all provided for them at
Wow, that's
training.
amazing.
And we also give them a stipend at the end of the week. So if they're coming on, you know, the bus or maybe by car, we'll kind of help offset that cost for them also. So they don't have to worry about
So
that.
this is awesome. You're talking about getting training. You're talking about providing tools, everything that they need, the materials. And on top of that, they're getting car fare to go to and from the program.
Even on top of that,
Oh, there's more. There's more.
yes, there's more. After training is completed, we assist with job placement.
Okay, so job placement. Tell me a little bit about job placement. How does that work?
So job placement. So basically, the whole idea of the training program is to pair that client up or the student up with an employer. That's the whole idea. Without that, basically we could push them out the door and then we kind of looking, okay, I learned all of this, but where'd I go with it?
Right, right.
So in the Chicago area, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that work with wood-related products and stuff like that that are looking for these types of skills. Right. And our job is to not only bring them in and train them, but to go ahead and place them on jobs. So right now, I'm in the process of actually sending students out on interviews. We have a class that's going to be graduating on the 26th of this month.
Okay.
A small class, but that's good because they get a lot of intense training on the different machines. Exactly. And we have manufacturers out there right now giving us calls and asking, when are they ready? Are they ready right now? So I'm sending them out. I'm sending them out on interviews, and we have one person right now that's confirmed that he's going to be starting on Thursday.
That's excellent. Now, what's the average wage of placement? I mean, like a starting wage for somebody. I take it's entry level.
This student, it's entry level, but this student's starting off at about $14.
$14 an hour. That's pretty decent. Yeah. So if you're listening out there, I mean, there's a whole lot of good things being said here today. You're talking about a free training. You're talking about equipment, tools, transportation, and job placement. So they're talking about helping you get that job.
Let me tell you what the student told me. He came out of the interview today and told me that he was lowballing himself, and he was like, I'll start off at 13. And the guy said, tell you what, we'll do 14 an hour, and if you work hard and show me you can do this job, he says within about 6 months I'll have you up at 18.
Wow, that's pretty good. Now my next question would be, and I'm pretty sure the audience out there, the question would be, how do I qualify for this? What's the criteria so I can be a part of this?
Okay. Qualifications. A person has to be at least 18.
Okay.
They have to test at a 7th grade level in math and reading, because it is intensive. We do,
right.
We got to measure things. We got to make sure that the cabinets fit in the kitchen, right? We also want to make sure that they are drug-free, so we'll do drug testing. And they have to be low income in order to qualify for that funding.
Low income.
Low income. So a person, let's say they're on public aid, or maybe there's a family of 4, but they're under a certain income bracket that will qualify them for free training. Veterans, things of that nature. You're right. Unemployment. If they're unemployed and you're receiving benefits, that will not affect your benefits whatsoever. So again, training is free while they're bringing in some type of income.
That sounds amazing. And if you're out there listening and you want to call in, you can call us and any questions that you may have. Your number's on your screen right there. Call the 312 number on your screen, and we will be more than glad to answer any questions you may have. Charlie came in here for that specific reason to give information and to answer any of your questions regarding the program. Now, I have another question. We talked about jobs and placement, and we talked about woodworking. Now, woodworking and these types of fields are usually considered a non-traditional field for women.
Right.
So even though I believe nothing's non-traditional anymore, you have female astronauts and firefighters and everything else. But in the woodworking field, what's the ratio men to women in that field?
Well, again, it is still a non-traditional field for women, but women are very detail-orientated. If you think about a female, basically they're the ones that are making things in the home beautiful. Basically, mom. That's not dad's job. Mom's gonna bring in the flowers and make, kind of arrange everything real nice.
Dad better help bring those flowers in.
So usually the woman has a really good eye for detail, and there's companies out there that really understand that. So when they call me, looking for a client or looking for somebody to employ, they may ask, I'm looking for a female specifically because they have specific tasks that they want to do. And usually that last part of any type of manufacturing in a company, let's say you're making a tabletop and you want it it might be $10,000. If a person's sanding it down before the guy who actually sprays it, they got to make sure that they don't, round off any corners, they don't, scratch it up too bad or anything like that. They're looking for somebody who's be able to give them a top.
So men and women are in the program, and it's open to everybody. If you're 18 years or older,
right.
That's an amazing thing. I mean, you just give a call. We're putting the number on your screen right now for you to call. It's 312-563-9570. If you call that number, there'll be somebody to take your call and answer any questions that you may have regarding the Woodworkers Training Program. I believe we have some pictures also talking about women on the job. We have tell us a little bit of what's going on here. I see there's a woman here working on this project.
Yeah, so this is a part of that first project I was telling you about. They're making a small little table. And at this point, she's processed the lumber for the legs, and she's just kind of sanding it right now, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already been cut to size. Looks like there's a couple of joints that's already been made and stuff, and she's just kind of doing the last part of it before she assembles the project.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. And here we see, I guess this is it's a stool or a
Right,
table?
it's a table slash stool. And here we have the students is actually attaching the legs. So you kind of see how it's constructed. We have the tabletop, it's inverted right now, so it's upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see the legs, how we'll teach the students how to process the lumbers. We'll also teach them the different types of joints. So right there in the corner, kind of towards you, you'll see how that joint is made. It's called a bridle joint, where you got a mortise, and basically one part kind of fits the other one with just a little bit of glue, and it's held in place. And the last thing he's doing is actually pre-drilling a couple of holes for the fasteners, and basically he's done.
So all these cuts that you see, I see it looks very precise, very evenly cut. This is something that they learned there at the training program, which is amazing.
Right.
What's going on here? She looks like she's picking something out there.
Right. So she's looking at veneer. Veneer, if you look at your tabletop, most likely it looks like a wood product. Most likely it's a veneer. Veneer is basically a sheet tree that's been sliced, just like meat at a deli counter, where you got these slices of tree that are paper thin, and basically you'll see this pattern that's kind of evolving through it. And if you look at it, it's called book match, where they'll take one piece and it looks the same like the other, and they're just kind of flipping it to bring in this very nice kind of figure of the wood and kind of enhance that sheet. So what she'll do in a little while is go ahead and tape that whole thing together, place that on a tabletop core, glue it, and kind of finish it up. This person right here is just measuring some legs. Some wooden material to make for legs and stuff. So you'll see right towards the extreme left, this lady's working at a planer. So right now they've passed it through that planer a couple of times to get to a specific thickness on it, and he's checking that dimension just to make sure he doesn't have to do another pass on that.
Yeah. And I see this like a pretty, very big shop there. Seems like you have a lot of equipment. What is this piece he's working on here?
This machine is called a joiner. This is usually the first step of processing some raw lumber. So if you go, you might grab a piece of lumber off the street and stuff, and it looks pretty raw. It might have some twist, or it's curved or bowed. This machine is the first step in trying to straighten everything out.
Okay. And I guess here he's doing some finishing touches?
Right. So they process those pieces. This leg is pretty close to being finished at the moment. These students have worked on a more complicated desk, and these are the legs that are going on the desk. So you'll see the CNC equipment in the background.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I noticed that you have some type of technology right there. I see a computer in the background.
Right.
Is this this is a programming machine, right? Could you tell us a little bit about the technology that you guys are utilizing now?
Right. So basically it's all computer driven. So you have the machine that will run what you need it to do, and then you have the computer screen that you'll see in the upper right-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
And basically using a computer to go ahead and generate where the hole locations need to be. If you're using the router to go ahead and shape parts, which the legs were done with the router, you need to kind of draw out basic path of how that router is going to go ahead and cut.
Now we see here...
So he went back just a little bit too far.
A little too far there, okay.
So let me just bring this back up. Yeah, whoops, wrong one.
Okay, let me...
We got a technical issue.
I'll go back to us right now.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Computer savvy,
So
okay,
let's
that's not
go through these pictures real
Okay,
quick.
so we do have some more pictures for you now. And
Yeah.
There's something here that came up on the screen, because when people hear about woodworking, you're thinking about... some people think about laying out foundations for laying down drywall. Some people think about, minor things in woodworking, maybe just making a cabinet or so on. But you guys could make some really pretty fancy tables and so on. And this here looks really beautiful. I mean,
Right.
tell us a little about this kind
So
of type of work here.
this is a field of woodworking called architectural millwork. Architectural millwork is basically stuff that can't be moved in the house. So you're talking about, cabinets and panels and bookshelves and libraries and things of that nature. This is a company that we know that has hired students in the past, and they're making these exquisite, homes, the kitchens. He's doing amazing stuff. He's been there for over 12 years already, and he's a master craftsman, and he's getting paid good money for what he needs to do.
Yeah, I see these tables are just gorgeous. I mean, this is some really serious, beautiful work here.
Right.
Now, I wanted to go back to the number real quick for you. Those of you that are watching, 312-563-9570. Give us a call. There's somebody who's waiting to answer your call. And orientations. I wanted to talk a little bit about orientations. Now, you recommend highly that a person come to orientation.
Right.
And tell us why it would be good.
Well, it's an information session. So I'm giving you some information right now, but we'll give you more in-depth information at that time of orientation. That's also when you'll get a application and start filling out. You get a tour of the facility. So this people who come in for the orientation, they're going to take a tour of the shop. They're going to see students working on projects, and it'll give them a good idea of what to expect as they're coming in. Let's say they get accepted into the training program, what to expect. Kind of see a project and say, wow, I could do that. I might not have any skills right now, but let's say in 8 weeks I'll be able to do that exact same project.
Exactly. So I guess all your bases are covered very well. Give us a call. Give a call to the Greater Westtown Training Program, Training Partnership. The Woodworkers Training Program, that's a unique program. You learn an excellent array of skills to make you competitive in the market, so that way you can go out there and get that job. Employers will look highly at people who come in and know what they're doing, that have that foundation. And anything that you do, if you have a foundation and you have the skills and you know how to market yourself, because that's another component I'm going to give about 1 minute. I heard that you guys have a job readiness component where students learn interviewing skills, right?
Right, exactly.
How to compose resumes, and they also learn how to present themselves, presentation as far as your clothing, your demeanor, your attitude. All these things are very important, because a lot of times people ask, how do I answer that hard question, like tell us about yourself and why you're interested in a company. And so it's the whole approach. So you're talking about a holistic approach here, which I think is excellent, as I was reading more information regarding your program. And that's something really, really good. That's with the program. So you're talking about the entire package.
Yeah.
You're talking about everything that you need to be successful. So if you're sitting on a couch right there, not knowing what to do, if you've always wanted to do something where you can use your hands, where you can use skills, if you always wanted to see yourself in a more bright future, a career, then give us a call at the following number on your screen. That's Greater Westtown Training Partnership. And the number is 312-563-9570. So somebody will take your call. We'll give you more information. We'll put you into the system so they can set you up for an appointment to come in for orientation. Now, Charlie, orientations are held when?
On Tuesdays, and actually this week is going to be Thursday, so there'll be another one tomorrow. And then I believe there's going to be another one next week on Tuesday. We have a class that's going to be starting on the 29th. So if someone's interested in applying, you might want to go ahead and give us a call quickly, so that way we go ahead and get you in the system and have you come in.
So there's no time to waste. I mean, classes are starting very soon, and they run for 15 weeks. So join in right now. Make that phone call, make that appointment, come to an orientation. You want to do something with yourself? Stop dreaming about it. Get up off the couch, grab that phone. Make that phone call and call the Greater Westtown Woodworkers Training Program to the Greater Westtown Training Partnership. We have got about a minute left, so Charlie, any last words?
Last words. If you're coming to training right now, just think at the beginning of the new year, you'll have a job and you go ahead and start working.
Okay, short last words. That's good. Okay, so it's funny you say that. The new year is coming so soon already. What are you taking into the next year? What are you preparing for? So this is something that can be that door of opportunity for you to get up and go out there and do something really constructive with yourself. And this is a skill that you take with you the rest of your life. It's not a skill you can pick up anywhere. Yep. It's something that people cannot easily take your job, because it's something that you have to be trained in. It's something that you have to know.
It's a transferable job.
Transferable job.
You could take this job to China.
There you go.
And you still be able to make stuff out of wood.
Build houses in China. Look at that. I'm telling you. So you can go out there and help save and contribute to the world. Okay. Okay, well, we want to thank you for joining us today in our program, and we hope that you have an excellent evening. Charlie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me again.
Help Hotline. We thank you very much, and we ask that you all have a great evening. Good night.